What happened is a county request figure through controller of budgets, and when they wired the money to the counties, county pay different person, Madam Speaker. But when it comes to this system, the system showed that, as an example, Mumma, you have that figure, and it has been requested from the controller of budgets. When it comes to the county for your payments, they cannot pay another person. They have to pay you. Because it is in the system, it cannot be pay another person. So that means that this voiding of expenditure transactions will not appear, which always Auditor General always highlight in our financial system, financial reports. In the issue of also these e-procurement, I don't know why counties are against. Because if they are using IFMIS countrywide, why not e-procurement? What makes them not to use e-procurement if they are now using IFMIS in each county and nationally? Madam Speaker, with those all remarks, I support the motion. Thank you.
I don't see any more interest. I now wish to call the mover to reply.
Madam Speaker, on behalf of the Senator of Mombasa, Senator Mwenyihaki Faki, who moved the motion, I beg to respond. Madam Speaker, I have sat through this debate from yesterday, and it is very clear that all members are contributing on a shared vision. And the vision I see is that all members want a system at the National Treasury that will make devolution a success. And if that is the case, the ball is still in our court, honorable members, in the sense that we must think long and hard on how to ensure that whatever instrument we create whatever instrument we create ends up making devolution effective and efficient. To my mind, we need to now move a bill in this House. And the bill should be a bill to make the National Treasury an independent office. Independent so that, Madam Speaker, it is not open to direction from the office of the President or any other office. Mr. Speaker, the biggest weakness we have today is that the Minister for National Treasury considers himself as part of the national government and not part of the county government. My mind is telling me, Madam Speaker, that if we make this minister independent and provide clearly in law that he will be sitting in the Council of Governors, 1. 2, he will be sitting in Cabinet. 3, he will sit on the National Security Council, and that he will not be directed by the office of the President or any other minister. It will be a big step. And until we do this, counties will never be efficient. And then once we do that, we can then say, instead of this ritual, Senator Sifuna, of discussing here how the minister should be dispersing money, which is supposed to be automatic, we provide in the law that the money due to counties, once decided, and it has become a law through the DORA bill or the DORA Act, then it is available to county governments in 12 equal installments payable on the 15th day of the month. A rich country like Kenya cannot be able to raise 15% of its budget which is due to the county governments every month. It collects and collects even more. Madam Speaker, I am persuaded that this will be a very difficult thing to see through, especially with the limited cooperation that we have from the National Assembly, but that is the future of devolution. Madam Speaker, I therefore, as I hope to remain the member of the Finance Committee, hope that next year we will invite the Minister of the National Treasury to discourage him from asking us through this kind of industry where we are doing now, to be giving him discretion. We don't want him to have any discretion. Even if you don't like your governor, you like the people from your county. So it is to your own benefit as a senator that your governor succeeds, because in the process, our people benefit. Having made those passing remarks, I want to urge colleagues, you go and read around the Chancellor of the Exchequer as practiced in the United Kingdom. This is a special minister. In fact, they refer to them as His Majesty's Treasury Minister to the Crown. He is the fourth highest ranking member in government, because he controls the Commonwealth of the United Kingdom. We can borrow from this so that in Kenya, because we also have our own Commonwealth, we have this special office that will be efficient and effective so that devolution, which is the future of this country, can succeed. Having said that much, I respond and request that, Madam Speaker, due to obvious reasons, that the putting of the question, understanding order number 66.3, be delayed to a later day. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The putting of the question is so deferred. Next order.
Order number 9, motion, report of the Select Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of the Affordable Housing Regulations, legal notice number 114 of 2025.
Chairperson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the Senate adopt the report of the Select Committee on delegated legislation or its consideration of the Affordable Housing Regulation legal notice number 114 of 2025, read on the table of the Senate on Wednesday, 24th of 7th of 2025, and that pursuant to Section 59.4 of the Affordable Housing Act 2024, the Senate resolves to approve the Affordable Housing Regulation, legal notice number 114 of 2025. Madam Speaker, the regulations are aimed at making sure that the Affordable Housing Act is operational according to Act number 2 of 2024, and providing the clarity on its implementation by providing the procedure and the criteria for allocation of affordable housing units, prescribing the requisite deposit for an affordable housing unit, 5% of the value of the unit, and providing for deposit assistance. They also outline the procedure to be followed in the event of default in repaying an allocated housing unit. the criteria for changing a unit and the provision of low-interest loans for acquisition of units involved under this initiative, as well as the development of rural affordable housing units. Madam Speaker, the regulations are crucial to Kenyans in a number of ways, which I want to highlight. Madam Speaker, the regulations play a central role in the realization of socio-economic rights as enshrined in the Article 43(1) of B of the Constitution, which guarantees every person the right to accessible and adequate housing. The regulations are instrumental in achieving objectives under key national frameworks, including the Big Four Agenda, Vision 2030, and the Bottom-up Economic Transformation Agenda, BETA, by enabling the development of affordable housing units to cover the 2,000 housing units in deficits. Madam Speaker, these regulations of affordable housing initiative generates extensive employment opportunities across the housing value chain, from construction to manufacturing, logistics, and financial services. It also stimulates demand for local building materials and services, thereby contributing to national economic growth and reducing poverty. Madam Speaker, the regulations as well of affordable housing, we have the classification of potential beneficiaries into distinct income bands, that is the social housing, affordable housing, and affordable middle class housing, insurance targeted interventions, allowing for equitable allocation of housing units based on needs and income capacity. So, Madam Speaker, that's not enough. There is also the provision of subsidized and low interest mortgages financing. It's a transformative element of the housing regulations. By lowering the cost of borrowing, the regulations make it possible for most Kenyans to access long-term home financing, enhance affordability, and significantly reduce the financial burden of home ownership. Madam Speaker, although the Cabinet Secretary erroneously submitted that draft regulations to the Senate instead of the published regulations and failed to adhere to Section 59(3) of the Affordable Housing Act, number 2 of 2024, which requires the Cabinet Secretary to table the regulations before Parliament within 30 days of commencement of the Act, that is by 21st of April 2024, the Act commenced on 22nd March 2024. Majority of the committee was of view that the Cabinet Secretary has given sufficient responses to these issues, and that the regulations had fulfilled the substantial requirement of the Statutory Instruments Act and the Affordable Housing Act, and as such, substantive justice must not be overridden by technicalities. And the regulations fulfill the requirements of the Statutory Instruments Act Cap 2A as follows. Pursuant to Section 11(1), the regulations were submitted to the Clerk of the Senate within 7 days of publication. Pursuant to Section 5A, the regulations were submitted to the Senate along with a copy of the explanatory memorandum, setting out, among others, proof of public participation. There was also evidence of the call for public participation in MATIANG'I, as well as newspaper of national circulation was submitted, and in accordance with Section 6, a regulatory impact assessment was submitted as the regulations imposed cost on the community. Madam Speaker, arising from this observation on these regulations, the committee recommends that the House approves the Affordable Housing Regulation 2025, Legal Notice number 114 of 2025, pursuant to Section 59(4) of the Affordable Housing Act, number 2 of 2025, and Section 11(4) of the Statutory Instruments Act, Cap 224. Madam Speaker, allow me to thank the members of the committee for their diligence and insightful during the consideration of these regulations. Lastly, Madam Speaker, I wish to thank the Office of the Speaker and the Clerk of the Senate for the support accorded to the committee during consideration of these regulations. Madam Speaker, pursuant to Section 59(4) of the Affordable Housing Act, number 2 of 2024, it is now my present duty to present the report of the Committee on Regulatory Legislation on the consideration of the Affordable Housing Regulation 2025, Legal Notice number 114 of 2025. And I beg my very good Senator Romenen to second.
Senator Lomenen.
Madam Speaker, in due respect, I support the motion by Senator Moa Fire. Madam Speaker.
Order, Senator. Who is Senator Moa Fire? You want to...
Senator Kataya. I do call him Moa Fire.
More fire.
More fire. More fire.
Proceed, Senator, for Turkana.
Yes. Madam Speaker, the resolutions passed by my respective senator, the report creates job employment in the nation, Madam Speaker. And then, Madam Speaker, it also creates a social development in our nation. I bring a case study. We have been just hearing, Madam Speaker, of housing. But recently, we met it in reality in Turkana County, where more than 2,000 houses has been planned to be built, especially in new institutions that are created in that area. Imagine, Madam Speaker, we were very happy as leaders of the county to receive such houses in area like Kibich, which is the farthest corner of this continent or this nation, where when we were some 2 years ago, Madam Speaker, even police officers, police personnel could not even afford house, a room. They were just staying in primary schools that are not even standardized. So, Madam Speaker, the issue of housing makes sure those who are incapable of getting housing are now happier than before. So, Madam Speaker, it is a reality to respect the Constitution, that Article 43, of saying that every Kenyans have a right of housing, access housing. It is real in this motion, Madam Speaker. And I believe if well implemented without any reservation, Madam Speaker, the nation, our citizens will enjoy the housing implementation. So thank you, Madam Speaker. I second.
Senator Khalwade. No. Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the Senate adopts the report of the Select Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of the Affordable Housing Regulations, legal notice number 114 of 2025, laid on the table of the Senate on Wednesday, 24th September 2025, and that pursuant to Section 59(4) of the Affordable Housing Act 2024, the Senate resolves to approve the Affordable Housing Regulations, legal notice number 114 of 2025. Senator Khalwade.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this is a rare opportunity that Parliament will be speaking on the issue of housing. And it's unfortunate that colleagues are too committed in their offices at the moment. We want to talk about housing because on social media, in the print media, main and alternative, in social joints, people are talking about housing. Why? Because people are contributing towards financing this project. I wish more of us would be here to participate. And I hope that this discussion goes beyond today so that colleagues can share with the rest of us what their thoughts are. And I want to start, Madam Speaker, by confirming that I support the report. And I want to recall that under the new constitution, 2013 to 2017, when Mwai Kibaki was president, what defined his presidency, Madam Speaker, sorry, I'm getting wrong, from the time of the old dictatorship, when Mwai Kibaki took over in 2002, what defined President Mwai Kibaki's presidency were just two things. He succeeded, Madam Speaker, in rolling out free primary education. It was a huge success. It was a masterpiece, and we shall never forget Kibaki for that gift to the generation of young Kenyans who benefited. Two, President Mwai Kibaki was able to practice as much as possible zero tolerance to corruption, enough for the country to be proud of, to be a working nation, and it resulted into our economy achieving an unprecedented growth of 7.2%. Madam Speaker, we shall remember Kibaki. And thanks for this, we were able actually to build the Thika superhighway. Out moved Kibaki, in came Uhuru, and Uhuru, despite the confusion that was around the Jubilee government and all the noise, Uhuru built the standard gauge rail line and went on and built the express highway here in Nairobi, Madam Speaker, plus the other roads that he touched here and there. In comes President Ruto. To me, it is starting to look like what will define President Ruto will be the success of the housing project. And therefore, Parliament, if we want successive governments to succeed, we should help. We smoothen, we file the rough edges of this housing project so that it succeeds. Madam Speaker, I am not persuaded that absorption of the funds that are recovered from Kenyans and meant to construct housing is poor to the extent that those funds, we hear, without serious confirmation, that they are now being invested in treasury bonds. It means we are overtaxing Kenyans. We should just have taxed them enough for us to be able to absorb. It is an opportunity that we should now speak to so that we move from the 1.5 to something lower, so that the money which is taxed from Kenyans, it leaves them comfortable and it ends up being absorbed 100%. Who knows, honorable colleagues, whoever will come after President Ruto might find a slush fund in the monies that will have been saved because of failure to absorb, and then that money is just taken to another project altogether or abused by a president who, after succeeding President Ruto, be it in 2027 or 2032, who will not be sharing his vision on housing. It is something that must concern us. Madam Speaker, it's important that maybe through an amendment of the Act or through these regulations, we should now be clearer on who benefits from these houses. I'm starting to see a red light. You saw when our athletes did very well at, was it called Chan? The championship where we did very well. You saw all of a sudden, they received a gift of houses. Is this the way we want to do it? That money contributed by Kenyans and then is used to give out houses as gifts? If that is the case, how will the people of the ones who vote for you in Mathare. Yes, how are they assured that they will deserve a gift? It should not be a question of gifts. It should be a question of deserving. What's more, I saw, dear colleagues, 10,000 teachers at State House, and the issue of housing was on the table. Is that the way we want to do it? Let's think about it. We help the government, we help the president by giving him enabling legislation that will save him from the urge to have that discretion. Madam Speaker, with due respect, we want houses to be fast-tracked. But we want to do it better. Where you are born, not where you come from. You know that in Bushiangala village, a primary school teacher, if you give him one of the flats in Kakamega, that primary school teacher will say, thank you very much, but he will never stay in that house. Instead, he's going to rent it out. Which is a good thing. But was that the objective of affordable housing? Was the objective of affordable housing to be given to successful football players? Was it? Can you convince Kenyans at Nyayo Stadium, at Kasarani, that continue contributing part of your salary so that at some time, when a Kenya does something extraordinary, he's gifted? That's not how governments are run. No. And, Madam Speaker, we have an adult responsibility in this country to say these things. Because if we don't get it right, the country becomes unstable. We all remember when we were insensitive to the voices of the Holoi Polloi on the infamous finance bill of 2024. We almost got killed here on the 25th of June. So let us be sensitive to what the public is saying. I never agree to Amunyoro. And I find it very difficult to agree with him because of his tribalistic mindedness. But the one thing that I think Munyoro gets right is that listen to the people. We must listen to the people. I saw, Madam Speaker, a survey which I have reason to believe that it is credible. And Kenyans were being asked, do you impress or don't you impress broad-based government? A whooping 70, what? Somebody remember? A whooping 78 said no. 68% said no. That is too high in any scientific research. So if Kenyans are saying they don't want broad-based government, they are saying, let us respect to the constitution, the people in the opposition, Idiot Sifuna, Beatrice, you leave our committees to chair our committees, you go back and play your role as elected leaders on the opposition. That is what that Tifa poll was saying. Madam Speaker.
What's your point about the Senator's
Don't quarrel me.
Senator Cherargei, please. Yeah. Senator Sifuna, what's your point about it?
Honorable Speaker, with tremendous respect to the Senator from Kakamega, pursuant to Standing Order 105 on statement of fact, I have been more than clear that I do not recognize anything called broad-based government. Yes. I am not part of it. Why does he keep dragging me and my good name into these conversations all the time, and yet it is not factual that I have abandoned my role as an opposition legislator? Can he withdraw that statement and that reference to me? And Honorable Speaker, kindly, for the sake of order in the House, guide Honorable Khalwale that it is possible to just make submissions without every single time and every single opportunity you get throwing jibes at your colleagues.
Senator Halwale, that is self-explanatory. Please withdraw.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, in fact, the Senator of Nairobi is more than 100% right. And I wouldn't want to drag your name in mud, especially given the fact that I'm your elder from the community and I have a responsibility to hold your hand the way Michael Kijana Wamalu held my hand when I came to this parliament. By referring to you, I did it wrongly. I was thinking about the Orange Democratic Movement, and because you are the Secretary General. Correct. I know you are very clear, you have nothing to do with broad-based government. In fact, it reminded me yesterday when you were challenging me that you have no idea which party I belong to.
Senator Halwale, would you just withdraw what you
Yes,
said?
yes.
If you are withdrawing and move on with your...
Madam Speaker, I want to calm him so that he doesn't feel that...
He is extremely calm, as I can see.
You are now calm. Bas, that's what I wanted. I don't want him to sleep thinking that the grandfather of his daughter is a problem to him. Madam Speaker.
Senator Halwale, you are just squandering your own time. Please focus on what you were saying.
Madam Speaker,
can you withdraw the allegation that Cherargei is paid to harass you? Let's
Madam
focus.
Speaker, but he has not complained. If he had complained, then there would be reason. He's taken it in his stride. The debater he is. A grandchild of John Maria Sarney from Nandi.
Senator Cherargei, what's your point of order? I wish the two of you would realize how much time you're taking off a very important debate. Proceed with your point of order.
Madam Speaker, I raise understanding order 105 on accuracy of fact. Senator Kalwale has alleged that I get paid to attack him. That is far from the truth. Can he withdraw and apologize?
Senator Halwale, would you...
Madam Speaker, I withdraw and apologize.
Thank you. Proceed with the debate.
In our other life,
don't qualify what you have said.
Thank you. In our other life, we shall pursue it with him. Madam Speaker, it concerns me that we have no comparative value for the cost of doing projects. Building houses has a cost. When you just think randomly, the expressway highway was built at 63 billion shillings. Thika Superhighway was built at, Madam Speaker, 27 billion shillings. It means, Madam Speaker, $1 billion is a big thing. And on a day like this, when we are talking about quantum, the systems that the government is using to manage our economy, including the latest introduction of electronic banking, specifically e-citizen. When we hear that e-citizen, the Auditor General, is saying in writing that 11 billion shillings is gone. Gone where? When we hear that one person, not two people, one person earns a convenience fee from transaction of e-citizen, he earns 50 million shillings per month, one person who we know because his name has been stated. The young man must truly be smiling all the way to the bank. Parliament functioning as it is, let us stop this theft through e-citizen. Let us stop the theft through inflation of projects. With this, Madam Speaker, if we achieve it, then the housing project is going to be a game changer. As I saw, Madam Speaker, I don't know whether it escaped you, a report in Tanzania during the ongoing presidential campaign. The president was being challenged that you are telling us that you are going to fix street lights, that Tanzania, Dar es Salaam, our cities will be lit. And yet in Kenya, the president is building houses. You can see how far we are. So if we push this housing and get it done very well, we'll be way, way ahead of all other East African community economies. Look, it is projected that in the next financial year, the economy of Ethiopia will be ahead of Kenya at 15.6. It will grow, and Kenya will grow by 15. Why would Ethiopia, a country which is struggling with democracy, a country that is struggling with stability, struggling with the national cohesion, doesn't have a good constitution like ours, doesn't have a well thought out, devolved system like ours, should leapfrog us? Why? They go, they do a dam there, we sing in praise of them, and yet we can't fix our dams on River Tana. We wait like we are waiting now when the rain season comes in for water to disturb people in Tana River. Families will be unsettled, property will be destroyed, life will be lost. And all we need to do is to dam the Tana River. You dam it, you make it more productive. Madam Speaker, I want to thank the committee for this nice report and hope that Parliament will help the executive to succeed. Thank you.
Senator Sifuna.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. From the onset, I want to be very clear that I stand to oppose these regulations and the report by the committee recommending that we support them. Senator Mofaya knows that I have a lot of respect for him, but I have reasons, Honorable Speaker, why